Good afternoon. In the morning, we have seen force analysis of helical gear, and we have solved a problem on force analysis also. Now we will see beam strength of helical gears, wear strength of helical gears, and effective load on helical gear, and then we will solve one problem. Therefore, in order to determine beam strength, the helical gear is considered to be equivalent to a formative spur gear, which is discussed earlier in spur gear. The formative gear is an imaginary spur gear in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element. The pitch circle diameter of this gear is d dash, the number of teeth is z dash, and the module is mn. Therefore, the beam strength of spur gear is given by SB is equal to mb sigma b into y. This is the equation A. This equation is also applicable to the formative spur gear. Therefore, this equation already we have studied. Beam strength SB is equal to mb sigma b into y. Therefore, please write down this equation and you write down the beam strength. Only you write down this much. The beam strength of spur gear is given by SB is equal to mb sigma b into y, equation A. Then please write. Therefore, now this is the helical gear. Now this is the one tooth of helical gear. Now you are knowing that in case of spur gear, beam strength is nothing but maximum amount of tangential load that the beam can transmit without bending failure. Therefore, beam strength, that force is nothing but tangential force. Therefore, tangential force is always perpendicular to the tooth. Now, in case of helical gear, since teeth are inclined with respect to axis at an angle psi or helix angle, therefore, for the helical gear, beam strength is nothing but SBN. Beam strength is nothing but SBN, which is nothing but the force acting perpendicular to the teeth. Therefore, SBN, normal force, which is acting perpendicular to this inclined teeth, is inclined at an angle psi with respect to the vertical. Therefore, SB is equal to SBN, which is equal to beam strength perpendicular to the tooth element. M is equal to Mn, we have to use, which is equal to normal module. Now, B we have to replace by B upon cos psi, because in case of spur gear this is the face width, but in case of helical gear your face width is nothing but which is inclined at an angle psi. Therefore, this is B. Therefore, by using right angle triangle, B is equal to B upon cos psi, that is width, this much length is equal to B upon cos psi. Therefore, substituting the values we are getting SBN is equal to MNB sigma B into Y divided by cos psi, where Y is equal to Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth Z dash. Now we are knowing that we have seen virtual number of teeth Z dash is equal to Z upon cos cube psi. That equation we have studied. Therefore, in case of helical gear, Lewis form factor is based on virtual number of teeth Z dash. Therefore, while solving problems on helical gear, always remember whatever teeth they have given, that teeth are actual teeth. We have to calculate virtual number of teeth by using the expression Z dash is equal to Z divided by cos cube psi. Therefore, for helical gear, this is our formula of beam strength. SBN is equal to MNB sigma B into Y divided by cos psi. Therefore, write down this. Equation B. Normal force SBN is equal to, or beam strength perpendicular to the tooth element, I think you have written. Therefore, now we have to find out SB. We have to find out SB. This force we have to find out. Vertical force. This vertical force we have to find out. Therefore, we will resolve this SBN into vertical component and horizontal component. Therefore, SB is nothing but SBN cos psi. Therefore, that cos psi will get cancelled and we will get finally beam strength SB is equal to Mn B sigma B into Y. Equation D is known as Lewis equation for helical gears. In this equation, the form factor Y is based on virtual number of teeth. Equation D gives beam strength in the plane of rotation. Therefore, beam strength SB indicates the maximum value of tangential force that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. It should be always more than the effective force between the meshing teeth. Therefore, always remember beam strength should be always greater than the effective force between the two meshing teeth. Therefore, this is the equation D is known as beam strength for helical gear. Therefore, write down this equation D. Therefore, I think you have written. Now, next point is wear strength of helical gears. The wear strength equation of the spur gear is modified to suit helical gears. For this purpose, a pair of helical gears is considered to be equivalent to a formative pinion and a formative gear in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element. The wear strength of the spur gear is given by, we are knowing this equation, SW is equal to BQ dpk, equation A, where SW is equal to SWN, wear strength perpendicular to the tooth element, B is equal to B upon cos psi, face width along the tooth element, dp dash is equal to dp upon cos square psi, pitch circle diameter of the formative pinion. Therefore, substituting these values in equation A, we are getting SWN, that is wear strength perpendicular to the tooth element is equal to BQ dpk upon cos cube psi, equation B. Therefore, the component of SWN in the plane of rotation is denoted by SW. Therefore, SW is equal to SWN cos psi. Therefore, from equation B and C, we are getting SW is equal to BQ dpk upon cos square psi. Therefore, this is the wear strength equation for helical gear, where equation D is known as Buckingham equation of wear strength. Equation D gives wear strength in the plane of rotation. Therefore, wear strength SW indicates the maximum tangential force that the tooth can transmit without pitting failure. it should be always more than the effective force between the meshing teeth. The virtual number of teeth on the pinion and gear are Zp dash and Zg dash respectively. Therefore, this is the equation for helical gear. Sw is equal to Bq dpk upon cos square psi. Now the ratio factor for helical gears is given by Q is equal to 2 Zg dash upon Zg dash divided by Zp dash, where Zg dash and Zp dash are the actual number of teeth on helical gear and pinion. Sorry, virtual number of teeth. Zg dash and Zp dash are, I think it should be virtual. Just to remember, this is nothing but virtual number of teeth, not actual. Zg dash and Zp dash are the virtual number of teeth on helical gear and pinion, and Zg and Zp are the actual number of teeth on helical gear and pinion. Therefore, we are knowing Zg dash is equal to Zg upon cos cube psi, and Zp dash is equal to Zp upon cos cube psi. Therefore, if you will substitute these two values in this equation, we are getting Q is equal to 2Zg divided by Zg plus Zp. Therefore, equation will remain same as that of the spur gear. Q is equal to 2Zg divided by Zg plus Zp. Now, I think you have written this. Please write down this equation D. SW, that is wear strength of helical gears, is equal to BQ dpk upon cos square psi, where psi is the helix angle. B value of Q is 2Zg divided by Zg plus Zp. Zg and Zp are actual number of teeth on helical gear and pinion. Now, last point, that is last theory. Afterwards, another theory is there, but for the problem, whatever we are going to see, for that, this theory is maybe last. Effective load between the two helical gears. Therefore, in the preliminary stages, the effective load between the two meshing teeth is given by P effective is equal to CSPT upon CV. Therefore, for helical gears, velocity factor CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus root V. Always remember, for helical gear, we have to use this formula only. CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus root V, where V is the pitch line velocity in meter per second. V is the pitch line velocity in meter per second. Therefore, please write down these two formulas. I think you have written. Therefore, in the final stages of gear design, when gear dimensions are known, error specified, and the quality of gears determined, the dynamic load PD is calculated by equation derived by Earl Buckingham. That is, we have seen this equation PD is equal to ENPZP into B into RPRG divided by 2530 into square root of RP square plus RG square. Therefore, we have to use that dynamic load equation. Therefore, when dynamic load we have to calculate at that time, effective force formula will change. Therefore, the effective load is given by P effective is equal to CSPT plus PD. Therefore, write down this equation. P effective is equal to CSPT plus PD when we have to calculate, we have to take into account dynamic load. Now, therefore, we'll solve the problem now. Please write down this problem. Example number 5. A pair of parallel helical gears consists of a 20 teeth pinion meshing with a 100 teeth gear. The pinion rotates at 720 rpm. The normal pressure angle is 20 degree while the helix angle is 25 degree. The face width is 40 mm and the normal module is 4 mm. The pinion as well as the gear is made of steel 40C8. SUT is equal to 600 Newton per m square and heat treated to a surface hardness of 300 bhn. The service factor and the factor of safety are 1.5 and 2 respectively. Assume that the velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load and calculate the power transmitting capacity of gears. They have given Lewis form factor for 27 teeth is equal to 0.3475. Therefore, write down this problem. We will solve it. I will wait for 5 minutes. Please write. Okay, we'll solve the problem now. We'll write down the given quantities. Now write down the given data. Solution. Sorry. Given. Now they have given first of all number of teeth on pinion. Therefore write down ZP is equal to 20. ZG is equal to 100. Speed of pinion they are given NP is equal to 720 rpm. Normal pressure angle alpha n is equal to 20 degree. Helix angle psi is equal to 25 degree. Face width B is equal to B is equal to 40 mm. Normal module Mn is equal to 4 mm. SUT is equal to 600 Newton per mm square. Brenner hardness number they have given BHN is equal to 300. Service factor CS is equal to 1.5. Factor of safety is equal to 2. Then Y27 they are given. Y27 is equal to 0.3475. Therefore, these are the given quantities. Now we will solve the problem. Those who have not written, please write within 1 minute. Okay, I think you have written. Now, again, same thing we have to write. Since both gears, since both gears are are made of the same material, same material, the pinion is weaker than the gear. Now we will calculate first of all beam strength, because we have to calculate power transmission. Therefore, we will calculate beam strength, wear strength. Therefore, first of all, we will calculate beam strength. Step 1, beam strength. Therefore, beam strength, to calculate beam strength, we have the equation Mn B sigma B into Y. SB is equal to SB is equal to Mn B sigma B into Y. Therefore, here Y we have to take for virtual number of teeth. Therefore, we will calculate first of all virtual number of teeth. Already they have given Y27, but still we will calculate virtual number of teeth. Virtual number of teeth ZP dash is equal to ZP upon cos cube psi. ZP upon cos cube psi. Therefore, ZP is nothing but 20 divided by cos cube of 25 degree. What is the answer? Anyone can tell fast. ZP dash. ZP dash. What is the answer? Anyone can tell? Hello.
26.87.
Yes, 26.87 means it is nearly equal to 27. That's why they have given us Y for 27. In the given data, that's why they have given us Y27. Always remember. Therefore, while taking Y in case of helical gear, we have to take Y for virtual number of teeth. Therefore, Y27, that's why they have given. Therefore, we will calculate beam strength SB. Beam strength SB is equal to, substitute the values. Mn means 4. Face width they are given 40 into face width 40 mm they are given data into MNB sigma B. What is sigma B? SUT divided by 3. Therefore, 600 divided by 3 into Y27 they are given 0.3475. Therefore, SB is equal to, what is the answer?
11.12 into 10 raised to 3.
11.12 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Therefore, this is our step 1. Now we will calculate wear strength. We will calculate wear strength. Step 2. Wear strength. Therefore, what is the equation for wear strength of helical gear? That equation we will write down first of all. SW is equal to BQ dpk divided by cos square psi. BQ dpk divided by cos square psi. Therefore, we will find out value of Q and K. Now, what is the value of Q? Q is equal to, we have seen the equation, 2ZG divided by ZG plus ZP. Therefore, substitute the values. 2 into what is ZG? 100. There again 100 plus 20. Therefore, Q is equal to, what is the answer?
1.67.
1.67. Now we'll calculate value of K. Value of K. K is nothing but what is the equation? 0.16 into BHN divided by 100 bracket square. Therefore, 0.16 into bracket 300 divided by 100 bracket square. Therefore, K is equal to what is the value?
1.44.
0.48.
1.44, and we have to find out pitch circle diameter also, because in case of helical gear pitch circle diameter formula is different. Therefore, pitch circle diameter dp is equal to pitch circle diameter dp is equal to mn into zp or zp into mn, whatever it is, divided by cos of psi. Remember, this is the formula for helical gear pitch circle diameter. Therefore, substitute the values. 4 into 20 divided by cos of 25. What is dp?
88.27.
88.27 mm. Therefore, substitute all these values in this SW equation and find out the answer. Wear strength. Therefore, SW is equal to 40 into 1.67 into 88.27 into 1.44 divided by cos square 25. Therefore, SW, what is the answer?
10.33 into 10 raised to 3.
10.33 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Therefore, this is the value of SW. I think all are writing. Now, we'll compare SB and SW. Which value is less? Can you tell? Therefore, I down since SW is less than SB. Therefore, pitting is the criterion of sorry is the criterion of failure. Therefore, step 3 we will calculate now tangential force. Step 3, tangential force. Tangential force, that is PT. Now, we will determine first of all pitch line velocity V. Therefore, write down here V is equal to pi dpnp upon 60 into 10 raised to 3, which is equal to pi into dp means 88.27 into 720 divided by 60 into 10 raised to 3. Therefore, what is V? What is the value of V? Hello,
3.33.
3.33 meter per second. Now, we will calculate velocity factor because they have told us that in the problem. Assume that velocity factor takes into account dynamic load. Therefore, we have to find out velocity factor CV. Now, for helical gear, velocity factor CV is given by 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus root V. Therefore, substitute the values. 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus root of 3.33. Therefore, CV is equal to, what is the answer?
0.75.
0.75. Now, since wear strength is the criterion of failure, or pitting is the criterion of failure, therefore we can write the equation SW is equal to P effective into Fs. And what is the formula of P effective? CSPT upon CV into Fs. SW is equal to. Therefore, substitute the values. What is the value of SW? 10.33 into 10 raised to 3. 10.33 into 10 raised to 3 is equal to 1.5 into PT into 2. Divided by 0.75. Calculate PT. In Newton. Calculate PT in Newton. Hello, what is the answer? Fast, now only
2.6 into 10 raised to 3.
2.6 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Now from PT, calculate torque transmitted. Therefore, step 4 is there. Step 4. Step 4. Power transmitting capacity. Power transmitting capacity. Therefore, to calculate power, we must know torque. Therefore, first of all, we will calculate torque transmitted. MT is equal to PT into dP divided by 2, which is equal to 2.6 into 10 raised to 3 into what is dP? 88.27 divided by 2. Therefore, calculate MT. What is torque transmitted?
114.75 into 10 raised to 3.
114.75 into 10 raised to 3 Newton mm. Now, once you will calculate torque transmitted, calculate power. Therefore, kilowatt is equal to 2 pi into Np into Mt upon 60 into 10 raised to 6. Therefore, substitute the values. 2 pi into 720. How much is RPM? 720 into 114.75 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 60 into 10 raised to 6. Therefore, kilowatt is equal to how much? What is the answer? Final answer?
8.65.
Yes, correct. I think all the students are writing. Therefore, tomorrow again I will take one problem and this chapter will over. And on Saturday we will take, that is I will take objective type of test on this chapter, first chapter. Therefore, first chapter will over tomorrow. Next lecture, that is from Monday onwards, we will start pressure vessel chapter. Thank you very much. Please write your numbers. We will stop here.